Hello, everyone. I'm doing another recap of the Anchored LRC trading strategy, as well as support and resistance levels, which came into play very well and together on Friday. What a great trading day. I had a crazy mistake that I made, and at least it worked out to my benefit. Could have been really bad. I'll actually show what I did, and yeah, just really dumb mistake. But so one of my best trades, or two of my best trades on Friday was Meta. I made, I think, four trades. Actually, I could have stopped trading after my first trade. It was a great trade on Meta right here. This was my original setup. I was watching it. I had I had told the group that we have a huge, this was a big level to fill, and I honestly did not think we would get this close to 453, when the day was starting. So I had no idea. At first glance, I thought, wow, everything's turning around and going the other way, which I had a little bias to the downside, I'm not going to lie. So I had to just mentally tell myself, okay, forget your bias. Let's just play, watch price action and play what the market gives you. And that's what you have to do. You have to eliminate bias because there's no, you never know what's really going to happen. Market movers or makers can come right in and change everything, which they did right here, right? This is what happened here. They had to boost this to get it back up to look good for their customers, so to speak. So anyway, right off the bat, I got into a couple really good trades. Meta, I got in when we had a close right here. So I got in. It was a perfect trade setup for me. I was a little concerned because ES and NASDAQ were kind of, not, we weren't really sure what was going to happen with them. If you go back and look at NASDAQ and ES and SPY, they were between the 20 daily SMA and a major level. Well, here, I'll go to ES and show you. This is what I was watching on my other chart. I don't know why. Why? If anybody knows why TOS does this now, like, shouldn't it stay where I was? It just zooms out to Neverland for no reason, just because I changed the ticker. Anyway, frustrating. Sorry, now it's frozen. So that's since Charles Schwab took over, and it has been horrible. So Charles Schwab, you need to get your shit together, because this is, look at this. This is ridiculous, man. So stupid. So let me auto zoom, get back to where we were. Okay, sorry about that. So let's pay attention to this. So I need to go to my clean setup so it shows my daily SMAs. And let me get to, I usually watch NASDAQ and ES on the 5-minute while I'm trading. So let me change just a couple things so we can see what day start, get an idea. Okay, so day started on ES, and this is what we're looking at. 20 daily SMA was above, which that was a good thing that we were below that. We had the 52.65 level. It kept going up and down on the, ticking this level, moving up, closing above, moving up. Now this is 5 minutes, so watching the other on a 2-minute, you're just like, okay, are we going above? Because you want to get above the 52.65. The problem was we had the 20 daily SMA, and then down below we have the 50 daily SMA, which is my purple line. And then this was also another big level, which is 52.50. So we were just like floundering right in this area. If you see, I don't, why does it do this? It didn't used to do that. It would stay in the same area that I was at, and it would just change the stock. But so on a 2-minute, this is what we were watching: up, down, bouncing off the 52.50 and up, in this area. Now that's all the way at 10 o'clock. But anyhow, watching this, we were kind of going up at the time that I was taking Meta. I'll go back to my linear regression anchor. Let me go to Meta. Okay. So if you notice, like when this was kind of going sideways, which I like because it's just showing some consolidation, I usually get ready for a significant move. I'm going to go through this quick so I don't make this too long for you guys. But anyway, I took this trade. It closed below the 20, the 200. I took the trade here once it passed through my LRC line. Actually, I did not take this one. I actually took this one. I wanted to make sure that I cleared the mid LRC line, which I did. I took this on a breakout. I got in. I actually added here, which I called out in the group. I was like, hey, if it comes back up, I'm just going to add. It came back up. I added. I scaled out when I hit this LRC line. Soon as this hit the line right here, I scaled out. This is just the way I traded it. So I was in, I think 10, maybe 10 contracts. I scaled out to, I believe, 4. I don't recall, but anyhow, it doesn't matter how many contracts I have. Just you trade however many you have. I like to take more than one, of course, so you can at least lock in profit as it goes. Now, the strategy that I'm trying to make myself adhere to is do not get out until I have 2 closes, which would have been right here. 2 green closes when you're in a short or put above the 20 EMA, exponential moving average, is what I use on a 2-minute. I find it hard for me to stay with that, but if I would, I would have way more profit. However, there's just sometimes when I'm in enough profit, I just take it and move on. So at this point, I had enough profit that when I traded here, I scaled out. I don't think I added back in. I just let this ride down to the 463. I got all out. I called this out in the group as well in Discord. Said, look, guys, if I get to 463, which is a major level, if you go look back at 463 on the 1 hour, 4 hour, there's a lot of pivots off of this 463. So I decided that I wasn't going to mess around. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I didn't want to chance it going up and just losing out on the profit that I gained. And then my goal was, and I also this is just me calling it out. Everybody can trade your way, but I called out I'm taking all profit at 463, and then I'm going to wait for a retest of 463. Well, in this case, it actually worked out really good for me. So it made me look good, but it doesn't always work that way. But you do want to look for a retest of a major level, or I do. And if it doesn't and it continues, then just, oh well, I missed out. I profited well. Go about my day, right? Because I profited plenty on this move. It was awesome. So came back up here. Before this happened, I made a really bad, lucky mistake, but a bad mistake. And I had already traded a couple other stocks too. So I was up really good on the day. And I had only enough buying power to buy 2 shares, or 2 contracts, right here. And I'll explain why that happened in just a minute, but I was out of buying power. I actually have not a dispute, but I'm trying to get TOS to comp me what I didn't get. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So as this went down and waked up, I told everyone, hey, watch how it reacts off the 463. We're still in a downtrend. You got a pretty steep slope on your 20. Just keep an eye on this. And I was like, you know what, guys? If I were you, I would buy at 463. Depending on how you want to trade, your risk level, because 463 is going to be your out. That is going to be, if you bought here or here, and then your next candle goes up, then just you get out, you take your small loss, like very low risk, and you move on and just hey, it didn't work. But if you get in right on the 463, which I did, I bought 2 contracts here. And then you wait for a break or a move down, and this is what we got. And we took this all the way. I took this all the way. I don't think I got out. I don't believe I got out until like here. So I got this entire move, and I think a few guys in the group did too. So it was a great setup, great great trade for all of us. It was beautiful. So I'll show you what I did by mistake, and it was kind of interesting. So I was looking at TSM, and I was getting ready to buy TSM actually right here. I think it was right in this level. Um, as it went over. Well, TSM was only like 50 cents a contract at the money, and only like 70 cents one bar in the money. And I usually buy at the money, but when it's really low cost, I buy in the money some. So I think I was going to buy in the money at the 70 cents, but I was going to buy 20 contracts around $1,400, buy. So I saw this setting up, and then at that same time on my other chart, I was watching Nvidia, and I saw Nvidia was coming up off the 1120 area. So I was like, you know what? I want to get in Nvidia because I haven't really been trading Nvidia lately, and it has really done well for the guys in the other group that I've been trading with. So I kind of wanted a piece of that. And the funny thing is, it was like right here at this time. So as soon as this wicked up off of the 1120, I bought off of this wick right here. But here was the mistake I made. I bought 20 contracts. Okay? Because I didn't change. I thought I changed to only 2. I was going to change 2. So when I clicked on my active trader, I thought I had moved it to 2. It was still at 20. I did not realize that. So when I got in, as soon as I bought in, it moved up. I was already at 3,000. I think 4,000. It could have been close to 5,000 that initially ticked, but it was what I focused on active trader. I was already at the right around 4,000. So I just started to buy. Number one, because I didn't want that much. I mean, to sell, I didn't want that much risk. I did not mean to do that. It was a total mistake, which that took most all of my buying power that I had left out for my account. And as you know, Nvidia is pretty high cost these days at the money and in the money. So anyhow, that was a mistake I made. It went up. I kept trying to sell. And what's weird is, if you've ever used TOS and you don't have enough funds in your account or whatever, it'll give you that that little error sound. Well, I kept doing that. Kept trying to sell. Kept trying to sell. Kept trying to sell. I kept trying to sell for a bit, and then I was getting really concerned. And I don't know how far over I actually got. It wasn't. I think it was still on this candle. It could have been this candle, but it finally allowed me to sell. And when I sold, I was able to lock in $388. But I was up $3,000, $4,000 on that trade, just literally in seconds. Of course, it would have been amazing if this kept going, because then eventually maybe I could have got a sell even for more. But thank goodness I didn't get a rejection and straight down, because I would have been out many, many, many thousands, who knows how much, because it wasn't letting me sell. So finally it did. I did profit, so I'm happy about that. However, I did get a hold of Charles Schwab, and they're looking into it. And I just want to let you guys know, Charles Schwab, they're all full of crap right now. Every time their system has a failure or an issue, they're blaming everything on market makers. That's exactly what they told me in support. Oh, that's because a market maker was reviewing your account, your trade, and just decided to cancel it, and that's why it wasn't picked up by all the other million people trading at that time. I'm like, yeah, bull, you know what? And so I told the guys, yeah, you're full of it. I get it. You're doing your job. But you and I both know that that's BS. You know that this is a system failure. You're having issues with your server. You're having lag. You're having poor entries, poor exits right now. Since Schwab took over, it's been terrible. Very inconsistent. So I'll probably be moving away from TOS. I hate that because I love the charting, but it just may be what I have to do and go back to interactive brokers, because they don't typically have those issues. So I probably would have locked in $3,000-$4,000 with interactive brokers, probably with no problem. So TOS, I think they're full of it. Schwab is full of it. However, I do have to give credit to the support rep. He did tell me, he's like, yep, I actually reviewed your account, and he could see all the times I tried selling, and it just kept giving me an error. He goes, I see that, so I'm actually sending this to higher ups to see if I can get you comped. That was after I told him, yeah, come on, I know you're doing your job, but come on, we're not stupid. Yeah, you could just use as market makers as an excuse for everything, right? And they don't ever have to deal with their system's failure that costs us money. So anyway, that was my rant about that. But man, was I super lucky that I was able to even lock in 388. It was a mistake on my part. I would never do that purposefully. Um, so anyhow, just something to think about. Double check your, because of the lag we're having. Sometimes when you're clicking in your active trader or it's not actually accepting what you're doing. So just double check it before you make that buy. And I thought it had went to 2. I clicked and I bought 20 like that, and I tried to get out like that, and it wouldn't let me. So anyhow, that was my freak out of the day. And after that happened, I went back and I was watching Meta. After my heart rate went down, I was watching Meta, and I told the guys, hey, this is an absolute perfect setup. We're getting our retest. We're coming back up to it. I was like, I'm getting in. I'm gonna buy 2 at 463. I offered my advice to the guys in the group and said, hey, if I were you, I would do that as well, because your risk to reward cannot possibly get any better. You literally cannot find a better risk to reward setup in any stock trade or whatever if you're literally able to buy at your major supply level. It's just, you can't get a better, in my opinion. Maybe someone can write in the comments that there is a better thing, but I don't see it, because you're literally right on your risk out, right? So if this next candle, when I bought here, if this next candle, I actually bought, I think, on this candle, but if this next candle went red up, I would just get out for a small loss. I may lose, 50, 60 bucks, 100 bucks. I only bought 2. So it would have been a very low risk, but I ended up making several $100s on this trade all the way to the bottom. And I got out, I believe it was this candle, second green candle here. So anyway, amazing trade, amazing day. The guys, I believe most everyone did well. It was just easy trading for everyone all day because everything was going down, I think. So we all love, that. It makes it easy when like everything's going in that direction. But that was one of my trades. This was what made this so great, is we were actually at our LRC as well. And you can see where we came down, we respected it and the major level. So this was like a no-brainer. And like, if you didn't want to do a more like an unsafe, I would say, less confirmed trade buying at the level, you could have waited for this and just bought right here. When you finally crossed this candle that went below, you could have bought right here, and then if you get back up above, then you actually have a little more risk, right? You're going to lose more, but probably more confirmation that you're going down buying on this candle. But I wanted to get in right at my risk, so I did. And I don't recall how many others did, but that I did get a Microsoft trade that day, and I did well on it. I was positive on every trade. It was like a no-brainer. Every trade was so easy off the LRC. This was I think I got out here on this. I got in this one and just let it go, and I pivoted to the other. I think Microsoft may have been my first trade of the day, but I bought this right here, the actual breakout move right here. I don't always do that, but something just looked, my stop out was going to be a move back up right there. I decided to get in for a breakout move on this candle. I did not wait for this one, which is normally what I would do. I didn't add back in here, which is also a normal thing that I do. Once I get in, when it comes up and wicks and hits like the 200 and starts wicking down, I don't believe I added here. I usually do though. And then I got out, I think maybe on this candle or like this candle. I can't remember where I got out, but I had really good profit. I had an amazing Friday. So it turned out to be a great day. It was an easy day of trading. One thing I want to point out where I've got to get better at, and I try to instruct the group to do it as well, but it's just hard for me because once I get into a good amount of profit, and this is what's limiting my expansion or getting better. There are times when I have held, but it's very, very, very rare. And I swear the times that I hold are the times it goes against me, and that's what kind of keeps me from doing it. So like when I get a good profit here, I just go ahead and take profit and move on. But this system, the way I want to trade it, and the way I've back tested, and the way I try to explain to everyone that's watching and following the system is, once you get your break below your LRC, your 20 and your 200, then your only out should be, if you really want to catch the whole move, the best of the move, your only out should be when your price closes 2 times in a row over the LRC. The 20 EMA, sorry. Did not mean to say LRC. So, for instance, if you see this, we went up, we closed over here. If this went and closed again, that would be my out, but it didn't. It went up and came back down. Never had another close over the 20 EMA. So you could have rode this, or I could have. I should have stayed in this. I probably would have made a couple $1,000s on it or more if I had stayed in it to right there. That's your second close over the 20. You had 1, 2. That's your out. And just move on. And that's what I'm trying to help teach. That's what I'm trying to also have the conviction to do myself. And I hope that others are able to do that, because it does work and it does help. If you look at every scenario, like SPY, same thing. Like, could you imagine? I mean, this is the thoughts that I have, right? So we have our 20 here. It's coming down at a pretty good angle, but I would not take it because 523 was a major support level. I needed to get below the 200. Well, man, how beautiful is this, right? So look at how amazing this is. This should have been an SPX trade for me. I do trade SPX daily. I did well with SPX Friday as well. So I literally just stacked profit on top of profit. So it was just excellent. So the 200's flat, which is kind of what you absolutely want when this takes place. You're consolidating on the 523, again, what you want to be happening. Like, it kind of makes a no-brainer trade. Goes up, it finally closes below the 523 and the 200, and wicking off of the mean, the midline, the LRC. This is your entry. Could you imagine just taking, you'd only have to take 1, but I usually take 2 SPX, right? So think about this, 2 SPX right here. You don't get out until you have 2 closes over the 20. Well, where would you be getting out? You would take right here. That you would get the entire move until 1240. And you would be up. Heck, I don't know how to figure that on the actual stocks. There's probably a really ingenious, smart way to do it, but I don't know how. If you guys know how to do that, put it in the comments, please, because I would love to know how to look at this chart and go, okay, if I got in at 522.70 and I rode it all the way down and got out at 519.34, I would have made X amount of money if I had bought at the money and SPX, right, per contract. But I would assume this would be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 probably of profit, because I literally make $300, $400 in these moves right here. Just these small moves. So to get the whole thing, I don't know, maybe a couple $1,000. But anyway, profit's not necessarily, monetary amount's not necessarily the most important thing. The percentage would have been massive. So anyhow, something I have to work on, and I have made this way longer than I had intended. So sorry about that, guys. And if you guys have any comments or any questions that can help, help me, help the community, that you would like to add to this, if you've been using this and you're using other maybe indicators or concepts that you're finding to be very beneficial or helpful, please, please, please come into our Discord channel. Join us, let us know. We're working together as a community to help each other out, and it's really working out very well. So the more the merrier. We would love to see you guys in there. And so I hope everyone has an amazing weekend, and everybody was green this week. I hope, fingers crossed. And I will see everyone on Monday. And please hit a like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really would help me out, and also help to spread this trading strategy out so maybe more people can benefit from it. Anyway, thanks again, and I will see you on the next video.